How's it going, everyone? Welcome to another video. This one's picking up right after the other one. Is the next morning. I was in here till about midnight cleaning out the garage, organizing stuff, and I said that there was more stuff wrong with the car. One of the biggest things that's wrong with it now is the water pump. I was hoping the water pump would last, but I don't know if you can see, it's wet right here. It's leaking coolant all the way to the floor. You can see it right there. That's a bunch of coolant, and then a bunch of oil, because the cam plug that came with the kit is a piece of junk and it's leaking all over the place. It leaks from here, falls on the head, and then it just drains down. So I just went ahead and bought the plug from the dealer, $14.99 for that plug. Oh well. And then I have the EGR valve coming today. Hopefully it gets here while I'm working on the timing belt and the water pump over here. So I'm gonna have to take off the power steering pump, alternator, take off this motor mount, take off the timing belt cover, go through the side, take off the wheel, remove that plastic that's right there, remove the crank, or set everything to top dead center. But I'll have to figure that out because I've never done that before. But without further ado, let's go ahead and get right into it. Okay, so car's off the ground, wheel is off. I'm gonna go ahead and get started up here.
A few moments later.
Okay, so I'm pretty far along for a little check-in. I got the stuff from here removed, the power steering pump, alternator, the harness is just hanging here. And right now, you can see it all wet around this area, and this is where the water pump goes. Or it's not wet anymore, but it's stained from the antifreeze that was coming out. So right now, gonna keep going up here, gonna remove the wiring harness, and then I'm gonna move on to the valve cover, and then all I need is to remove the motor mount from right here, and then this bracket has 3 bolts on this side, and I think 2 or 1 on this side. I'll figure it out right now, and I should be getting close to being able to go to the bottom and try my luck at that crank bolt. But first I'm gonna take off this cover right here, unplug this sensor, remove the harness from back here because this is the water pump, the water, and then I gotta unplug the crank sensor way down there. There we go. You see how it's all wet because of all the coolant. All right, so I think that's it for the harness. So there's a valve cover again off of the car. So now support the engine to take this crap off, and then take all this stuff off, and then I can get started with the pulley down there. Okay, so I'm at the part where I'm gonna have to try and figure out how I'm gonna take off this pulley down here, and I think this has been done to this car before, so it might not be that hard to take it off, but we'll find out right now. It's gonna turn out a little bit harder than I thought. Okay, so that's all I have to work with. I don't have a 1/2-inch drive ratchet. So I'm gonna push on it right there. Uh-oh. I think I'm gonna have to lift up the car a little bit more. I can't get enough leverage here. All right, so this is what I had to do. I put this ratchet right here, and then I use this breaker bar to turn the bolt, and it came loose. As you can see, it's coming out. It wasn't that tight. I don't think it was. I still had to go really hard, but as you see, the bolt is coming right off, and it's off. So you have to watch out for that little key thing right there. There we go. And it's off. So yeah, this is that famous key thing. I'll take off this cover right now, and then I'll come back whenever I'm setting the timing marks. Okay, so I got the motor mount bracket off. I got all the stuff on the side off. I even got the crank pulley off. But I got my timing mark set up. I have this one that says up, and then I have these that have that little mark. I don't know if you can see it. It has a little mark right there. There's a mark right there. There's another mark right there. That one and that one have to line up with the top of the head, and then this one just faces up. And then in the bottom, the pulley has a mark as well. You see the little notch? And then in the back on the block, there's a little arrow right there. Now I just have to loosen up the timing belt, let it come off, and then remove the water pump. Okay, so the timing belt came off. This tensioner doesn't work anymore. It doesn't release the tension. It's like seized up. It's like rusted. And yeah, the water is coming out of the bottom of the pump. So now I'm gonna remove the pump. It has 4 10mm screws. Alright, it came off. Made a huge mess down there. And this is how it looks. It's all rusted. And you can hear the bearings in there pretty loud. Let me see how the new one sounds. Oh, this one doesn't even spin. Alright, so I just came back from picking up my little boy from school, and the EGR valve arrived. I'm gonna swap that out right now. Whenever I take that out, I'll take off the seal. I think I'm gonna go ahead and do that now, since I'm right here already. All this is uncovered. And as you can see, the oil back here, that's not supposed to be there, and it's there because of this thing. Look how loose it is. It came with the kit, and it was a piece of junk. Look at that. Look at that oil right there. Horrible situation. Horrible. Okay, so I got mostly all the old gasket off. I think that'll do. I'm gonna put in that plug. So you just press it in there. Hopefully that's the last time I mess with this thing. Okay, now to the other side of the car. Put the new gasket on. Okay, so I got some silicone on there. So I'm gonna slap that on there. And then right after that, I'm gonna start routing the timing belt. All right, water pump, tensioner are on. The spring is on. So now the next thing is putting the timing belt on there. Start from the bottom, this way, then this way, around this, and then back towards the crank. So I'm gonna go under there and get it started. I'm just gonna leave it there for now. Oh man, that was way harder than I thought it was gonna be. We lined up the timing mark in the bottom pulley and then tried to put the belt on top of the cam gear, and that was super tight. So every time we would do it, that mark would move that way. It would go down. So what I did is that I set this gear this side of the timing mark of top dead center, and I measured that distance that it was moving. So then we took off the timing belt again. I put this gear on this side of the timing belt, and then as we were pulling it up, this gear turned and went back to top dead center, and then this stayed where it's supposed to be. And we already did the rotations. We checked that the timing marks go back to where it's supposed to be, and that's that top dead center down here. So we're good to go. Okay, so I got the camshaft sensor back on with the plug, and then I want to put that cover right here. There's a 10mm right here, one right there, and then a few up towards the top, and then also that motor mount bracket. So this goes right here. So I'm gonna keep working on it. I'm gonna put everything back together, and I'll check in later when I have more done. Okay, so I got this bottom bracket on, and then I have the motor mount bracket on as well up here where the alternator goes. So the next thing is gonna be the crank pulley. I'm gonna put this little key thing and then slide the pulley right over it. Now, I don't think I'm gonna record this part, but I have to figure out how to, probably gonna be the same thing I did earlier, but reversed. Somehow put it like right here so I can hold on to the ground, and then turn it with the torque wrench. Well, I'm not looking forward to this one. All right, got that torque down, 148 foot-pounds. So now the easy stuff. I got the top all together. I still got to put this little bracket here where it goes. The cover on top, but the coils are down. Wiring harness is down. The next thing I'm going to do is an alternator, and then power steering pump, and then air box all the way around, and that should be it. Okay, so car's put back together. Everything should be good to go. There's antifreeze in here now. I'm gonna let it roll a little bit and then turn it on. Oh no, something's wrong.
Why? What's wrong?
Nothing. It started. It's running. I gotta bleed the coolant. But the main thing is that it started. Hopefully it stays good. I didn't see any leaks down there. I guess I'll check tomorrow. But right now I'm gonna keep putting coolant in there until it warms up. And then we'll check back in tomorrow. Yes. Yeah. Yes, it's been 5 months since that last video. I never got around to recording the test drive because the Civic had to hit the ground running. I was using it for Uber Eats because the biggest goal at the time was to buy a house. If you notice, I'm not in my little one-car garage anymore. I'm in my garage in my house, thanks in part to the Civic. I used it for Uber Eats to save up money, and it did not let me down after the water pump and the timing belt. Nothing else went wrong with it. I did replace the fuel pump like 3 days ago, but it wasn't because it gave out completely. It's because the top broke. It's a common problem with these, and it was leaking a bunch of fuel. And actually, when I replaced that, the car is running much smoother too. Like, it used to vibrate a lot, and now it's not. And I don't know if you noticed, but you could see the miles right after I finished the water pump. I think it was like 247. I'll put it up on the screen right now. But now in 5 months, the car has 257,000 miles. So in 5 months, 10,000 miles, car's still running good. And there's a lot more coming with it. I'm gonna probably focus on the suspension right now because I do plan on doing a case swap, but since it's running good and I did all those repairs to it, it's kind of pointless to just yank it out and drop another motor in. I think I'm gonna mess with this one a little bit, not too much since it's just a D17, probably a little colder intake. I don't know, a header or catback, I don't know. But for now, next is gonna be suspension, tie rods, control arms, maybe some lowering springs, some sway bars. So yeah, I also have a bunch of parts for the truck, distributor, exhaust, chrome valve covers, intake manifold. So yeah, the C10 is coming back as well. And the 300, I still have it. No big plans for that right now. And I mean, I do know that a lot of my subscribers are here because of the 300, but right now I'm gonna focus on these two, and then I'll go back to the 300 soon. So if you guys wanna stick around, see what else I got to upload, see what else I do to my cars, like, subscribe, and see you guys next time.